because they've discovered this 7.5-foot statue. Actually, yeah, you can see it there if you go to the Middle Ancient Origins one. I think that's my article, and that they found this 7.5-foot statue is sitting down kind of on the bench. This is the Karahan Tepe, the one on the right there, and he's holding his part, his phallus, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And he's clearly got this kind of emaciation thing going on with the kind of neck. You see the V thing on his neck and the ribs.
Yeah.
And so he's also got a weird beard. He's got almost like one of them fake Egyptian beards.
Yeah.
And his haircut is almost like a mullet going down the back, but shaved above the ears. And we've seen other Mohican type haircuts carved in stone there as well. I mean, which is pretty bizarre. And next
Do we know this was carved around the same time?
Yeah, I mean, they think it was pretty much the same time. They're actually saying it might be a fraction younger, a few hundred years younger.
Right.
But we're not so sure. And also there was like a vulture statue was found there, and giant T-shaped pillars, again, all mainly broken. I mean, again, even this statue was broken in like 3 parts.
Right, yeah, you see that.
You see this deliberate kind of breakage. I mean, and some of the other human statues they found previously, again, they're broken. So it's kind of, is it a sort of ceremonial breaking of the statues? This is what some people have suggested. So yeah, I think there's a lot more to this culture.
Or it could be competing cultures or tribes coming to destroy them. Like similar to what happened with the Kailasa temple.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they tried to destroy that and failed pretty miserably.
Yeah. They did a pretty good job destroying some of the stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of the Indian stuff was pretty. A lot of the famous Indian sites were ravaged.
Yeah.
By the Middle Eastern cultures. The Islam.
I guess it could be like the way. Yeah, you get like in Egypt, you get like the kind of statues, like the nose is broken off and things like this, which is takes away their power and other such things. So there could be a similar principle at play here. There are traditions in some areas in this part of the world where you to decommission and close down a site when you've finished with it, you do break things in certain ways, kind of carefully, and then bury it. You know, this is kind of one of the things. So we don't know. It could be one or both of these different perspectives.
Yeah. Just the comparison from this to some of the shit you see in Egypt is mind-bending. You know, the idea, the fact that this was created so long ago it's important in setting the date for, how long humans have been able to use tools and, create societies and work together. But just comparing this to some of the statues that we have in the Luxor and some of those places that are in Egypt with those perfectly symmetrical granite statues of those pharaohs is just mind-bending, man.
Yeah, that kind of thing's a whole different level. It's almost like computer design technology. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I'm a big fan of Chris Dunn and what he's done in the past. I mean, it's just blown my mind. It's all these different ideas, but his thing about the precision and the symmetry kind of gets me, because it's just the symmetry is really hard to duplicate. It's
hard to ignore
when it's that good, that precise. But there's a lot of elements here of extremely sophisticated geometry within some of the sites. I mean, not necessarily the symmetry within statues, but the layout of the sites are very specific geometries. I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to find it on here.
How so?
Well, I don't know, maybe if you type in Göbekli Tepe, you might have to go to one of my videos, actually, I think. I'm not sure. Karahan Tepe or Göbekli Tepe geometry, see what comes up. I don't know if any of my images will come up. So you've got some geometry work that's been done by some archaeologists, but there's other stuff that I've done myself, which none of these ones, unfortunately.
Oh, look at that.
No, that's not. Don't go there. That's not.
Is that fake news?
That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at that. No, you might have to go to one of my. If you go to maybe go to the Megalithomania, you'll be able to find it there. Megalithomania YouTube or something. Okay. But there, so you got this in Britain. you've got these stone circles. You've got like 1,000 stone circles being reported across the whole country. You know, going into France, other places as well.
Yeah.
And the YouTube channel. Go to the home and then go to the YouTube channel. That's it. In fact, it's in the book. I could just it's in the little book as well. Some of the geometry.
You'll find it on here.
Yeah. And so you got all these certain geometries that were analysed, they were surveyed by a Scottish engineer from Oxford University called Alexander Thom. And he published this in several books, 2 or 3 really profound books, and caused a massive stir within the establishment because he proved that the Neolithic people had an understanding of sophisticated geometries. If you go to the top, in fact, you go to the latest one, the one on the top left. And if you skip through that, you'll find the geometries there for sure. There you go. If you just sort of play it from there, you just turn the volume down, and I can explain a couple of things. This is the geometry on the left. That was discovered by Avi Goffer, where they found the centres of the circles, or their kind of geometries, were created a perfect equilateral triangle.
Huh.
And then then this was analysed by my friend Adam Tetlow, who's a metrologist. If you want to just play it and go through the next few slides, he found that they were using very specific types of ancient measurements. So looking at ancient metrology, like the Sumerian foot, the Sumerian palm, the Royal Egyptian cubit. There's me doing some kind of lecture or conference, and we've got them all here. And he worked out that they were using the Persian foot as well, these are all very important measurements. You've even got the Egyptian foot, and the cubit's also been found in some of the sites. And these are the same kind of measurements we find in the British stone circles and in the pyramids being found at Göbekli Tepe. But the geometries, if you move on a little bit, come on to that. Go to the next couple of slides. They found that it's also perfectly north-south. This is the work. So it was built with the understanding of north and south, which they thought maybe was only the pyramids. They found that, but actually they now found it at Göbekli Tepe. This is the work of Howard Crowhurst. These are the geometries we find all across the British Isles. We find these 6 to 8 different types, including the ellipse.
Right.
And they have different construction ways of doing it. They're called flattened eggs. They're called flattened circles, egg-shaped circles, things like this. So I applied this to Göbekli Tepe to see what I could find. That'll probably be the next couple of slides. Yeah, so here, this is like enclosure D, and we've got an egg-shaped circle type 1. Now, you get different, it might look like it's a bit off, but it's actually, you get different widths, heights on there of these different geometries. And if we just keep going on, there's a few other geometries we can look at. And you see these in British stone circles. You see them in Brittany and France. But the fact is, you're finding them now in Göbekli Tepe, which is 6,000 years earlier, at least.
Right.
Which is pretty amazing. And then even in Nabta Playa in Egypt, we have the same geometry going back nearly around 7,000 BC.
Conventional archaeologists, they're not mad about this, right? They're pretty in line with all this stuff, right? They accept it.
No, not at all. No,
they don't.
No,
really?
They're not interested.
I thought it was a conventional archaeologist who discovered it.
They discovered the equilateral triangle. That was all. Yeah, and
I'm talking about Göbekli Tepe.
But this one here
dated it.
Yeah. No, they're not interested for sure at the site. This one's the most fascinating one. This is a flattened circle modified type B, and it almost perfectly fits enclosure C. Precisely, and you can even the construction points where the C is, that is actually where the T pillars are, and so this is exactly. I mean, this may not, for those that have an understanding of British stone circles and get all the different Alexander Thom's work and the people like Robin Heath. This is pretty compelling because this was supposed to only have occurred in Britain, like 4,000 years ago at the most, or 5,000 years ago perhaps. But here it was happening nearly 12,000 years ago. So what is going on? Did these influence the British stone circle builders with their ideas and their different geometries, their different kind of principles?